I'm in Oiler country, home of the Mount Pleasant Oilers. It's tip-off night between Shepherd and Mount Pleasant. I'm here with head coach Rachel Jackska.
Now, can you feel it, Aaron? Can you really feel it?
Yes, Tyler, I can feel it.
I was going to say, the madness is coming. It's March.
It's March, and can you feel it? The madness, it's coming.
Are your Oilers going all the way this year?
Oh, I think so. We have a good team. We can really shoot. We got some scores, good defense. We got it all.
Just a mix of talent so far as we're getting towards the end of June, getting ready for literally the heat of the season.
Starting off with the Creighton Blue Jays taking on national favorite, the Iowa Hawkeyes, when sensation Caitlin Clark leading the charge for the Big Ten champs.
Thanks, guys. I am here ringside with Daniel Richardson. D. Rich, the quarterback for CMU.
Earlier today, and that one's hit on a line that deep to left field, and that one's gone. A grand slam for Adam De La Cruz. Boom, baby. That one is out left field to the Chevy Pavilion.
I cannot believe the Lions lost again.
I know, and they were winning too. So, Aaron, please tell me you have some good news coming up.
Yeah, I do, Charlie, and it looks like it's going to be another one of those seasons for the Lions. But coming up after the break, I'll have a full recap of what went down Friday night just down the street at Community Memorial Stadium. Stay tuned.
So even though the Lions aren't doing so hot, at least hockey is back.
Yeah, Aaron, I mean, the Red Wings have been off to quite the start.
Yes, they have, Charlie, and I'll have Red Wings highlights from yesterday's game, and the Oilers of Mount Pleasant have their first round opponent set for the MHSA Playoffs Division 3. Come back after the break, and I'll tell you who they're matching up against. Stay tuned.
And that's March Madness.
Now the madness is officially here, and it starts tonight. Coming up, looking at the last four in, or the playing games for the men's tournament. And then the women's tournament's making history this season. A wrap-up through high school basketball around the area, and the Lions have made some moves in free agency already. After the break, I'll catch you up on who they signed and who the potential targets are left out there for the Lions in just a few minutes. Hey, it's Aron Geml here with some sports for you. In case you just missed me at Mount Pleasant High School, which I just ran back from, girls basketball is going to tip off between Shepherd and Mount Pleasant. It's set for 5:30 for JV and 7 for varsity. It's day 2 of NFL free agency, and there have been major splashes around the league. Sticking closer to home, the Detroit Lions have been sort of busy so far in free agency. The Lions have finally made a move at the wide receiver position as they signed former Jaguar receiver DJ Chark to a 1-year deal worth up to $10 million. It's time to get ready for the divisional series in the MLB, but before that starts, let's look back at the craziness of the wild card round, shall we? After Cleveland took a 2-1 victory over Tampa Bay on Friday, the Guardians were hoping to end things in games 2. It took some time, 15 innings to be exact, when right fielder Oscar Gonzalez said, "See ya," a walk-off homer for Cleveland as they now advance to play the New York Yankees tomorrow night. Oh yes, it's time for this week's Fantasy Zone. Let's go with the start of the week. Dak Prescott against the Detroit Lions. He could be back from an injured thumb this week, so keep tab on his status. If he is available, I get him back into the lineups. Plus, Detroit's defense has been awful. Aaron Rodgers has not been a trustworthy quarterback to this point in the season, but with 4 teams on a bye, he is a quarterback 1 for this week. The New Jersey Devils come into town tomorrow night at Little Caesars Arena. Finally, with college basketball season upon us, the Chippewas are just 10 days away from tipping off a brand new campaign. But before that, they had open walk-on tryouts. And yes, I tried out. Here's how that went.
It's almost basketball time here at Mount Pleasant, and the Chippewas are preparing for their first game of the season at McGurk Arena to start the 2022-2023 season. But before they can get to that, the team had an open date on the calendar that does not occur every year, nor does it occur that much in general. With the roster a man or two short, the team hosted open walk-on tryouts, so I decided to give it a go. The tryout process began with assistant coach Chris McMillan saying to everyone that the tryout was just regular 5-on-5 pickup basketball, like you would see daily at the Student Activity Center. He also said that the team may take 1 or 2 guys or nobody at all, depending on what he and the rest of his staff saw. For me, I was just looking to see what a walk-on process for any Division I sport was like, and to have some fun, and even getting in on the scoring and dishing the basketball around as well. Even some of the guys on the current roster dropped by to watch the open tryout. After a long 2 hours of just playing basketball, the tryout was over along with my dream of being a Division I athlete. Oh well. But with the sweat dripping down my face, here were my final thoughts on the whole tryout.
That'll do it for my tryout. I really hope that one of these guys will make the team this year. Anyway, if one, two, or none of them make it, so it was a fantastic experience for me. Scored once, had a couple assists, couple of rebounds, and that hit the floor a couple times too, trying to go for rebounds as well. So I gotta get a little dirty, right? So Chippewas tip off the 2022-2023 season November 10th at Marquette, and then open at home November 13th against Eastern Illinois.
Well, looks like I won't be suiting up for the Chippewas this season, although I am available in case they do need a guy. The team tips off against Marquette in Milwaukee on November 2nd. That's all I have for you this evening. As always, keep it fresh. And Giselle, what's going on with this weather? Because where are the fall temperatures? It feels like summer out here today.
More creative and fun signs were amongst Oiler Nation Friday night. Wait, where's the Oilers student section? I can't see them. Oh, wait, it's just camouflage. After all, it is hunting season as the Mount Pleasant Oilers were ready to begin their hunt for a district title against the team that knocked them out around this time last year, the DeWitt Panthers. First drive for the Oilers, Logan Brodicek would pop it forward to senior Max Humphreys. He would take it to the house for the game's first score. DeWitt now back inside their own 10, and then yoink! A pick six for Max Humphrey. Oilers by 7. Under a minute to go in the first half, Brodicek would find Max Humphrey again, a hat trick for the senior in the first half as the Oilers would even things up at 21 at the break. Oilers' first possession of the second half will result in a Blake Moore touchdown from Brodicek. Oilers would lead 28-21. Fourth quarter now all tied at 28. 4th and 4 with less than 5 minutes to go for the Oilers. Brodicek hit as he throws, and Scooter Polk would come down with it. Bet would set up the Oilers for a go-ahead touchdown with less than 2 minutes to go. DeWitt would not go away, though. The Panthers would drive down and pick up this huge 3rd and 10 with 10 seconds remaining. The Panthers would score with a tying touchdown with 5 seconds left. 60 minutes of a roller coaster regulation wasn't enough, so off to overtime at 35 apiece. The Oilers won the toss and elected to start on defense. Now remember, high school overtime rules are just the same as college, except high school offense starts at the 10 instead of the 25. The Oilers student section wanted DeWitt to hear them in overtime. DeWitt would score first in overtime, and that would put pressure on Mount Pleasant. After 2 penalties in a row, 4th down from the 20, season on the line. Take a listen. What a catch. Now we go to double overtime. The Oilers would start off with the ball, and Scooter Polk would take it in. DeWitt would score again. Now we head to triple overtime. The Panthers would score, and now it was in the Oilers' hands to force a 4th overtime. 4th down, backs against the wall again. Brodicek would roll out and overthrown. Game and season over. As the DeWitt Panthers took down the Mount Pleasant Oilers 56-49 in triple overtime. And when asked about what his seniors meant to the program this year, Coach McIntyre said they will always be Oilers.
Well, it's the worst part of coaching, for sure, because of the nature of this sport and the finality of all. But I just told them, listen, we love them, and what they've done will always be remembered, and they'll always be part of our program. I mean, it's a family for life, and that's what we expressed.
I'll be completely forthright with you guys. Dwayne Wade is in town today.
Oh,
and
really?
It's his birthday, and we had an opportunity to go interview him, but it didn't pop up until about 15 minutes before I was going to leave today. And I told him I had a prior commitment because I'm standing with my wife, and I said, Dwayne Wade or the Fraser guys? And she goes, you know the answer to that. I said, you're right. It's important to interact and get people content for what they want, but it's also important to be a part of the people that we represent, right? And you guys are the next generation, so again, just hire me when you get up in the big leagues. And I'm out of a job. You work hard, I can tell.
So we appreciate that.
You take yourself seriously, and I'll give you credit for this one. Social media is such a big thing. We've watched people that have come through our place and either job shadowed us or interned for us, and we keep an eye, right? Because in this business, people are getting younger and younger, and it's always interesting to watch the dynamic of how they treat their social media, whether they treat it just for personal use or to get the likes, or if they treat it as a tool to ultimately try to land a job. And what impressed me so much about you, Aaron, when you approached me on Instagram, I mean, that's where we started. It was just an Instagram conversation, and I look at how you handled yourself, and sometimes you don't know. And so I give you guys credit and everybody that's watching.
In office and what they're doing. Are you still considering running for governor of the state state of Michigan?
Yeah, you got a governor that's going to be in there for 4 more years, and so I'm not thinking about it.
I tell you what, in all the years before and all the years after that playoff game, I've never played in a stadium that was that loud. I say it all the time when people ask me about that game.
Especially playing against a Cowboys team that had Emmitt Smith and it had Troy Aikman.
Welcome, Daniel. It's awesome that you're here to drop the puck tonight. So tell me, a couple football questions for you, because season just ended a couple of months ago. Tell me your thoughts on beating Western and your overall reaction of bringing home that victory cannon, because it's been a long time.
Man, it's a great feeling to bring home that victory cannon. Just a tradition here, being here. Man, last 10, 12 years, we only beat them, two or three times, but just bringing home that trophy, winning on their field was an unbelievable feeling.
After being a director of mental health agency for 3 decades, John Obermusk has decided to retire in June. Community Mental Health for Central Michigan is now looking for a new director after Obermusk announced his retirement. Obermusk speaks about his retirement, saying that he had the honor to be a part of the mental health agency to improve esteemed behavioral workforce who serves Central Michigan's most vulnerable citizens. Isabella County Commissioner Tobin Hope praised Obermusk for his service throughout 30 years. He also says that the mental health agency has started the process to hire a new director.
State senators voted today. Positive rate indicates less community spread of the virus.
Michigan State University drops the mask mandate on their campus. According to the Michigan State University community letter, the drop of the mask requirement comes after Michigan State's spring break. The mandate is still in place for classrooms and research spaces. Other schools seem to be following MSU's lead. The University of Michigan announced in the press release that as of yesterday, masks are now optional for indoor spaces. Central Michigan University continues to enforce their mask mandate on campus. News Central will keep you updated on what changes may come to CMU's campus. Kyiv will be imposing a 35-hour curfew following the most recent attack from Russia. The Ukrainian capital will hold the curfew from 8 p.m. tonight until 7 a.m. on Thursday. Kyiv Mayor Vitaly Klitschko announced the curfew following several attacks on the city by Russian military. Moving around the city without special permission will be monitored while the curfew is active. The Ukrainian government continues to take action to keep citizens safe from the oncoming attacks.
The crash continues to be investigated.
A 3-year-old passes after being struck by a tractor in Ottawa County yesterday afternoon. According to a press release, the Ottawa County Sheriff's Office, along with the Blenheim Township Fire Rescue and Life Ambulance, responded to a farm in Blenheim Township after reports of a child being hit by a tractor. Deputies performed life-saving measures upon arrival, but the child did pass away from the inflicted injuries. The crash is still under investigation by the Sheriff's Office. We now head outside for a live look at weather with Ethan. With Easter right around the corner, many are getting ready to buy their favorite holiday candy. One of the most popular Easter treats are Peeps. Ahead of the holiday, Peeps announced the opportunity for customers to customize their own Peeps. Customers are now able to customize 3 aspects of marshmallow-based candy: the color, the dip, and a topping. The package comes with 6 personalized Peeps and will sell for $29.99. As always, keep it fresh. Megan, as always, keep it fresh. And as always, keep it fresh. As always, keep it fresh.